Hey there, Facebook Live. It is time to come right at you from the content cabin. Oh my gosh, it is actually a little bit nippy, a little bit chilly. I'm happy to say fall is in the air. It's probably about 65 degrees here, and I have just come from a very fun, if late night dinner, rehearsal dinner for one of our many TEDxWilmingtonSalons. Let me show you the program. This is just going to be absolutely outstanding. It is actually sponsored by Stand By Me, which is headed by Mary DuPont. Met a whole bunch of amazing speakers here tonight. Hey, Jeet, guess who was with me? It was Jeet. And I guess I'm a little bit more wound up than I thought I would be. So that may be a reason. And another reason is Thursday, a busy week like this with TEDx tomorrow, really easy for me to forget that I'm giving our LeadMax community, local LeadMax community, a heck of a show on Thursday. And I really need to be part of gearing up for my game. So I realized that I need to get in another Facebook Live here this evening to make sure that I am absolutely prepared to deliver for everybody. Now, I have just learned, and I'm just going to, those of you looking at the description right here on the replay, because there's only a small handful of people watching this right now, but on the replay, if you look on the description, I say a little something at the bottom, not about tomorrow's event, but about next Tuesday's TEDx Wilmington event, which is Adulting 101. It's sponsored by Accelerate Delaware and the Longwood Foundation, the Longwood Foundation. And it is going to be absolutely tremendous. And there is going to be a special bonus for those of you who want to get a bonus ticket, not even to one of my LeadMax events while the seats are available. But here is the bonus. And I believe these are $35 tickets to the Adulting 101 next week. If you are local, if you care about adulting, or if you have someone, a millennial in your life that needs adulting, or if you know a 42 millennial that needs adulting, which would be me, you can respond in the following manner to get complimentary tickets, not just for that person who is in need of adulting, but also for you. So yes, I'm offering a special 2 complimentary tickets to this event. All you need to do is register for the LeadMax event coming up this Thursday, you and your guest, and you need to both register for LeadMax at leadmax.me, and register for the event happening. And then you need to show up, and that person needs to show up, and then I will award the both of you 2 complimentary tickets for Adulting 101, which is just going to be amazing. Now, people, I am the guy, all right? I look at the back-end stuff. Now, Jeet is also the guy, because Jeet does a very valuable service for us, compiling all of the speaker reviews. And Jeet and his wife, Chidali, do amazing work that I used to do, and I delegated to Jeet, and he has been awesome, and he's been showing up and doing this stuff. So I can't say highly enough stuff about him. But I look at the back end, I look at the metrics, okay? I look at the views. And Accelerate Delaware, last time they did a salon, a TEDx salon with us back in February, their 4 talks that they have done have gone viral. They are almost at 1 million views. Now, I'm not saying this officially because they're at about 930,000 views for just 4 talks. The biggest 4 talks in aggregate that we've ever done. So, I mean, it's going to be amazing. Their curation, their ability to help us find great speakers. You're not going to want to miss out being in the room. It's absolutely worth $70 for you and your guests to be in there. But you come to LeadMax on Thursday, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be complimentary to you, and it's just one of the little insider benefits that we have in our community. Now, okay, having said that, that was a little long commercial, shameless plug for LeadMax, which you need to go to because it's really, to my knowledge, it's Delaware's first monthly, open to the public, completely free and going to stay free monthly leadership and personal growth program. And we are rolling out a certification or a certificate program. So you show up for the next 120 days, you show up at 3 of the 4 months, you're going to get a certificate if you want one. And that's going to look great if you're in between jobs, if you have a promotion that you're looking for, if you want to be maybe on a board somewhere, if you want to do some things that people are going to ask, what are you doing to grow yourself? Well, it's good to be able to get a certificate of a, mastermind group or some kind of other training that you're in, or it's great to be in Guatemala or maybe Paraguay right now, like a lot of my friends are in Paraguay, and it kind of pains my heart that I'm not in Paraguay because I had such a great time in Paraguay, but right now in this season, I want to be giving back to Delaware. Okay, so I want you locals, spread the word, all right? Now, having said all that, what? Yeah, well, you're looking at this. Can you tell me what this lyric is right here? Beats all you ever saw. Been in trouble with the law since the day I was born, or they was born. Okay, now I know not too many people are watching this right now. However, I would like to know who knows and can tell me the TV show that came from in the comments. At some point it'll pop up and you will win the prize of acknowledgement. But, what is that doing there, Nathan? Well, it's because Nathan's a little hyper wrung out. Nathan may or may not have been encouraged to drink a little bit of red wine at the dinner tonight, but not too much. And Nathan fortunately was able to pawn a ride home with his friend Bob, which is great. Thanks to you, Bob, very much. So Nathan's in a little bit of an unusual mood, but Nathan really was pretty temperate and moderate today. So number one is goofiness, but number two is we're talking about the laws of growth here, my friends. And you know what? It beats all I ever saw because so many of us have been in trouble with the law since the day we was born, right? We have been in trouble with the law, okay? The laws of growth, all right? I'm talking about the 15 invaluable laws of growth. And some of us who are leaders right now, who have little influence issues because we're trying to lord it over people with our title and position. We're trying to do this old school strong-arming, command and control rank card pulling. We've been in trouble with the irrefutable laws of leadership since the day we was born, okay? So I want to talk with you a little bit about the kind of mess we get in when we think that we can't just go with the flow, all right? Because if we want to go with the flow, we're not going to get too much. We're going to end up entitled. We're going to end up out of shape. We're going to end up losing friends. We're going to end up not taking care of our health and our bodies. We're going to end up just watching kind of the boob tube all day long. I don't know about you, and my heart goes out to all of the people in the path of the state of Florida and the hurricanes and all of that. And so I don't want to be insensitive, but what I'll say is I spent the entire freaking weekend watching TV news coverage of storms instead of working on myself, instead of preparing as much as I could have for Thursday, which is why I'm doing a Facebook Live right now. I've got to talk through my talking points, and I've got to get through to be able to communicate these laws of growth. Now, my point is the laws of the universe, the laws of gravity, and I mean, not too much different than the laws of leadership, the laws of influence, and the laws of growth. We've got to work with the law instead of trying to break the law. My friend Hugo from Paraguay, man, I love you. I wish I could be down there with you this week. Not this time, my friend, but it's so good to see you, my friend. We've got to work with these laws. and everything. John Maxwell, he's in Paraguay this week. We're touching the world, you guys. There is so much happening with this team that I don't think that you can really do everything that is going on with this team unless you are like working on the inside of this team. But we've got to work with the laws instead of trying to break the laws. Now, what does it mean that we're breaking the law? Breaking the law, okay? Breaking the law. What does that mean, all right? What it means is not what you think it means, because this isn't, breaking the law isn't outrunning Roscoe P. Coltrane on a dirt road and just jumping over a riverbed or that's not what I'm talking about here. I know the goofy little lyric here might make you think that way, but I'm talking about breaking the law looks like this. Not working out in the morning with my kettlebell. Okay, I'm just going to talk about me. Breaking the law means not hanging out with my wife after she comes home from work and finding out how her day was, but instead retreating to my man cave, okay? Breaking the law means just going around doing other things that I do and volunteer for, like TEDx Wilmington, instead of prepping for my LeadMax, which is the top thing that I do, giving back to the community every single second Thursday of the month. I mean, we had the place packed out last month. We have a few limited seats available, and I'm going to be bringing it, and we're going to be waiting list only any month now. And it's because we're in an opportunity of downsizing here in Delaware, and there are a lot of people that agree and know that they need to work on themselves. So breaking the law is just as simple as not running away from Boss Hogg, or driving around with a weird politically incorrect car on a dirt road somewhere. But breaking the law is just not doing the simple things that we need to do for ourselves to make the tiny little hard incremental progress works. Now, I didn't talk about you. I just talked about the stuff that I need to work on. I just talked about the stuff that I'm not doing as regularly as I can do. So, I mean, we've got these laws of growth. And you know what, friends? Ricky Bobby, in the words of Ricky Bobby, whose movie I may or may not have been watching recently, if you're not first, you're what? You're last. If you're not first, you're last. And I'm saying to synopsize, or whatever the word is I'm trying to think of, to summarize, or to I can't think of the word, but I'm saying if you're not growing, you're shrinking. If you're not pressing ahead, you're falling behind. Okay, see what I'm doing here? I'm doing a little exercise here. I actually do have, by the way, I do have a exercise ball here to sit on in the content cabin. So, I mean, I like to stand when I'm doing these things, but when I'm sitting, I do have an exercise ball for my core. So that I'm growing in strength. So anyway, if we're not working with these laws of growth, if we're not doing the small, hard, but doable things that we can do a little bit every day, we are going to be falling behind. We're going to be breaking the law. And when we break the laws of growth, there is a price to be paid. We get out of balance, we get out of harmony. And my friends, I want you to be able to create margin in your life so that you can prioritize the biggest things, so that you have the fulfillment and a little bit of space at the middle of the day, at the end of the day, maybe even at the beginning of the day. That's what I want to help you do. And that's what the LeadMax community does, is we get people aware of these principles. We get people aware of the small but doable things that they need to do. And it also encourages me, because when I know that I'm on the hook to be able to deliver, and when I know that I'm on the hook, and if you've seen some of the pictures I've been putting out there, you know that I'm either really good at what I do, or I look ridiculous with these giant banners. I mean, I've got 2 giant banners. I mean, what does that say about you when you give a speech somewhere and you've got 2 giant banners on either side of you, and you've got a photographer walking around? Now, you better be pretty good. You better deliver when you've got all of that flash and glitz around you. And it's not because of the flash and glitz, my friends. It's actually because I want other people to want to be in the room. I want them to see what I see in Delaware and the people in Delaware. And I want them to see that even though Delaware is downsizing, that is the greatest opportunity for growth in the history of our state. I used to say in just one generation, in our generation. No, because the whole history of the state almost has been industrial revolution and being, ruled by the man or the corporate store or the company store or whatever. And now we have an opportunity, and people are doing it in all of our co-working spaces. They're growing. They're doing the uphill work. They're launching businesses. They're launching concepts. They're getting their first series of funding done. And they're really starting, many people, many contemporaries, many friends and peers of mine are really starting to get traction on this business. And then they're employing people, and now they're giving, TEDx talks, some of them, and getting recognized by the Chamber of Commerce and sitting on boards. And it's just really, really exciting, And I did my first mastermind group with the original co-working pioneers, Wes and Steve, right here in Wilmington. They had this, it was not subsidized by the government at that time. These two guys that struck it out, and they didn't strike out, they struck out, and they didn't strike out, they struck out on their own, and they rented this duplex and filled it with a bunch of guys and ladies that wanted to co-work. And that has blossomed, expanded. Now we have an entire ecosystem 5 years later, but we did a 21 irrefutable laws of leadership mastermind group 5 years ago with this foundational group of guys who were just pioneers. And some of them are here, some of them moved on. But, it's just amazing the work that we have done together. So laws of growth are like the laws of gravity. If I climb up to the top of my very shaky gazebo roof, I would fall in because it's not a very strong roof. I need to replace the roof. And the reason I would fall in is because of the weak shingles, which basically vaporize to the touch, which you can see on my wall. But the other reason that I would fall in is because of a more fundamental law, which is the law of gravity. And we have these laws of growth and laws of leadership and influence, and we need to follow them. They're not optional. They don't care. The law of gravity does not care if I fall through my gazebo 9 feet and whack myself on the bum. Okay? It's because I didn't follow the law. So we've got these killer laws of leadership. Part of my task for Thursday is I've got to have to be able to summarize quickly these laws that we have been masterminding through. And so what I'm going to do right now is just tell you about some of these laws. We started out with the law of intentionality. It basically says that growth doesn't just happen. You have to be intentional about your growth. You can't just think that you are on some kind of training wheel bike here. You're not on the training wheels, okay? You're not on a pre-programmed academic track. There is no third grade. There is no fourth grade. There is no fifth grade. There's just the rest of your life, and if you don't grow, you're just going to be doing a giant Groundhog Day like Bill Murray, day after day after day, month after month, week after week, year after year, decade after decade. Unless you realize the growth doesn't just happen, that you need to close the gaps in your life, and there are actually 8 gaps in this chapter that I'm not going to go into right now. Another law that we cover in this course is called the law of awareness, and this is the second law. It says you need to know yourself in order to grow yourself. And this law of awareness was so personally important to me because my background, this kind of thing, people in my environment a lot of times were either a little naive or misguided, or they mislabeled the idea of knowing yourself. Socrates said, know thyself. And it's really important to take a good look at yourself. You have the right to spend time getting to know yourself. You have the right to do that. And don't let anybody ever tell you that you're prideful or sinful or anything else, if you need to take a little bit of time in life, especially in life's transition points, to get to know yourself a little deeper, because if you don't get to know yourself and whatever that little thing is that might be kind of a pattern or holding you back or a little reaction or flashpoint, if you don't take the time to get aware, you're not going to get aware. And guess what? Groundhog Day, okay, week after week, day after day, month after month, decade after decade, until you expose that thing through awareness. So you have not just the right, but you have the duty and the responsibility. And it's not just for you. It's for the people close to you. It's for the people at your job. It's for the people, the customers that you serve. You really owe it to yourself and to them to get comfortable, probe it in yourself. This is not navel gazing. This is not some kind of pop psychology stuff. This is called, we are in a optimized world where everything is over efficiencyed. We're all experts. We're a whole planet full of 7 billion experts, largely experts in the developed world. So that's not all 7 billion of us, but everybody in the developed world is basically an expert at something. I'm realizing this stuff. And you know what? The real key point does not come from our expertise. Now, at 42 years old, I finally realize this. Our value, our worth does not come from our expertise, okay? It's great to be able to perform. It's great to be able to be an expert. It's great to be able to use that expertise, make the world a better place. But unless we understand and know ourselves and have awareness of ourselves to be able to relate and connect to other people, they're not going to care about our expertise. And our expertise is not going to be all that helpful or impactful to them. I hope that makes sense. So the law of awareness is absolutely huge, very closely related to the law of the mirror, which says that you need to see value in yourself to add value to yourself. I love the law of the mirror, but I'm not going to cover any more than that. That's a little bonus. Oh, actually, that's law number 3. So anyway, it's all about the self-image, right? And why we need to build ourselves up and get past this false narrative that somehow I've got to pull myself up by the bootstraps, and I can be harsh with myself, and I can just kind of grunt through, and I can beat myself up verbally, and somehow that's going to help me be able to add value to other people. You know, you love your neighbor as you love yourself. My favorite book says you love your neighbor as you love yourself. Now, the flip side of that is that if you don't love yourself a whole lot, if you think you're kind of low to crud and you have a lousy self-image and you have that horrible mirror reflection, you're not going to be able to love other people unless you first love yourself. Now, my tradition that I come from, and this is a tradition, not a true faith principle or anything like that, but the tradition of other people said that, well, you can't love yourself because that's pride and that's ego and that's the world, you know, and it's like, you know, no, you got to love yourself in a really healthy way, which is a lot more than the unhealthy people that point a finger and start accusing you and start trying to rip you down when they see you trying to add value to yourself and don't give you any credit to be able to reach back out to other people to add value to them. Let me give you one more law here. Now, we talked about the law of reflection very, very quickly. And this next one is called the law of consistency. Now, this is the law that we just covered this last week. And it says that motivation is going to get you going. But you know what? It's only discipline that is going to keep you growing. You know, it's as simple as this. Like around the gazebo here, it's pitch black. You can't see it. And it's good because we didn't work on the garden this year in the backyard. So we do not really have a garden, but last year we had a garden. You know why? Because we got motivated. My wife and I, let's plant a garden. Let's do it around the gazebo where there's zero light because we have forest over there and we basically don't have enough sunlight to be able to grow things. But we're like, let's do it anyway because we didn't know what we didn't know. So we planted this beautiful garden and it didn't really grow. And part of the reason it didn't grow, there's no sunlight, but the other reason it didn't grow is we didn't come out here regularly to water the garden plants. Now, we did a little bit, okay? And they didn't all die on us, but we got motivated to plant the garden, but we didn't keep the discipline as much as we could have to keep the plants growing. And that's the law of consistency. It's absolutely huge to be able to stay consistently productive and to stop just being goal-oriented, but instead realize there's a higher place than just hitting your event, hitting your mark. Turn those events and goals into an ongoing process and value the growth on the inside of you so that you can automatically hit some of your goals, but the bigger piece is that you grow and outgrow your goals. How great would that be? To be able to be a person that outgrows the goals, not just that hits the goals, but outgrows them consistently. I mean, I tell you what, I was just having dinner with the TEDx Wilmington team here at the rehearsal dinner. So we have a whole bunch of people who are going to be presenting tomorrow. Can't wait to see them. They're going to be presenting in less than 12 hours, about 10 hours and 13 minutes. They're going to be walking on stage, and almost all the people have never given anything like this kind of style of talk, and they are walking out on the stage. Now, they have already outgrown whatever goal that they have. I mean, these people that are going to be presenting, they are already growing, because none of them, I don't think any of them had a goal to give a TEDx talk. I don't think at all. So it's very, very unusual. And they were encouraged to apply. They were encouraged to give a talk. Usually there's a different kind of a process, but just because of the unique theme here, I don't know that any of them, maybe just a handful, even had any kind of an aspiration to do this. But you know what? They did set that goal, but they are outgrowing that goal. They're going to outgrow that goal at some point tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, and it's just going to be a wonderful thing to be able to see. Now, on the other side of the table, the TEDx team, I tell you what, we have outgrown the goals that Ajit has set for us, because he has massively expanded. I think we doubled the amount of talks that we produced last year, and we're doing 12 this year. We're doing one. I thought we were going to do one every month, and it didn't work out that way. Like the first 6 months of this year, I think we did maybe 2. It's like the last 6 months, I think we're doing like 9 or 10. So it's amazing, because we are already outgrowing our existing capacity. And that's just because of vision, and that's because also of some conversations, liaising, and doing the hard work of growing together. And so it's been a great, I got to tell you, I mean, for somebody that's studying the principles of leadership and growth and organizational development of John C. Maxwell, it's a great laboratory. For me, I'm in the laboratory, because I get to liaise, I get to lead across, I get to lead down a little bit. I really don't have anybody that really reports to me or anything like that, but I get to really lead across, and I'm doing a little bit of leading up on occasion. So it's a wonderful thing. So these are the laws of growth. It beats all you ever saw. We've been in trouble with these laws since the day we was born, unless we do the little uphill work every single day. I hope that you make it a great day or a great evening wherever you are. I hope that if you're local and you're watching this replay, that you go to LeadMax.me, LeadMax.me. Yes, that's a website, .me, not .com. LeadMax.me. Register you and a friend for Thursday's event, where we're going to talk about these 15 laws of growth. We're going to kick off a 4-month optional certificate program that you can be in the ground floor of while seats are available. And if you come and bring your friend or colleague or teammate or business partner or associate, you bring them, and then they show up on Thursday, you're going to be eligible to win that free TEDx Wilmington 101, Adulting 101 next Tuesday, which is going to be a $70 pair of tickets for you and your friend who needs adulting assistance. I think we all could use adulting assistance. So anyway, hey, take care, everybody. There is going to be, for those of you that want to check out our special financial themed TEDx Wilmington Salon tomorrow. There will be a live stream link, and you can look on my wall, and that will be posted at some point. It's going to be live from the Gold Room of the Hotel DuPont, Wilmington, Delaware, the Gold Room, okay? Pretty cool. Why is it called the Gold Room? It's not because we have yellow wallpaper. It really is the Gold Room, okay? You don't want to miss it. Take care, everybody. Thanks for joining me, and thank you for knowing yourself, growing yourself, and taking people up with you. Take care, everyone.